Okay, so I think this sets us up nicely for the next section, which is on employment opportunities. You mentioned that they kind of try to tone down your expectations when it comes to the LLM and the employment opportunities that may be available afterwards. But in terms of a general sense of numbers, how many people in the LLM cohort are likely to find jobs after graduation? And I don't think we can speak for this year. I think this was the pandemic year. But
Right.
generally, if we are to talk about international students, what's the likelihood of landing a job?
Well, I can only answer for Indian students because it can really depend on which part of the world you're from.
Yeah.
So, uh, I mean, like some like people who are from Latin America, for example, have more choices in the United States because a lot of U.S. law firms are doing business that has a nexus with Latin America. So, in that sense. I think like you cannot make a general statement for all kinds of LLM students, but for Indians, I think like the opportunities, if you look at law firms in the US, very limited. Uh, because I mean, like if again, it depends on your background. If you are a corporate lawyer, then of course there are more a corporate job is the most sort of common type of job in the field of law. So proportionally, if that's your thing, then yeah, then maybe you have more opportunities than others. But if you are, for example, into investment arbitration or something more exotic, then the opportunities for you are going to be somewhat limited. Um, and another thing is like people who are coming in for their LLMs often have years of work experience, and like I said, that's a factor that matters a lot. So this again feeds into a discussion we had moments ago about the importance of having work experience. So I think like sure the opportunities do not really present themselves. You really have to go looking for them and pursuing them and punching away at various possibilities constantly till you land on something solid. But something that you could something that could really help your prospects is like if you go there after some amount of work experience. And yeah, I mean, like I guess employment opportunities doesn't really mean just law firms. It could also mean getting a fellowship to work at the ICJ or working with some sort of well, some sort of an activism body or organization in the US, which a lot of people do, or trying to work in an international organization. But yeah, again, these opportunities have their own separate application processes, and they are more generally open to people from all kinds of backgrounds. So they proceed on a more meritocratic basis. But with law firms, yeah, there are a bunch of sort of non-merit related issues uh, like visa and whether you're enrolled in the bar or not, and the amount of work experience you have compared to the amount of work experience that the next guy has, things like that.
Or just location specific thing, like you mentioned that Latin American students might have an upper hand in securing
Yeah.
jobs. Yeah, that's something that we learned in another session as well for Cornell. We were told that because there's so much arbitration business that's coming out of Latin American countries, being
Yeah.
fluent in Spanish or French or Portuguese can really give you that upper edge.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, so I think we've pretty much looked at the first question as well.